You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
And good evening. It is Monday, sometime, the 22nd, September. And it's kind of a nice day out. It's kind of a lovely weekend, too. So for those of you that have been in Colorado, who went to the Riot Fest? For you guys in this room, who went to the Riot Fest?
I did one third of the days.
It was an intense weekend. 3 days of like concert portfolio building, really. There were so many bands, so much going on. It was crazy. I was gonna try not to talk about it for a little bit and just go with the T-shirt thing for a sec, but fuck it. So, who'd you go to see?
I went to go see Weezer Friday night. I was in school until 8:00 on Friday.
Right.
So I left school, showered up, got to Weezer. They started at 10:30 and they rocked the place till like almost midnight.
They played the whole Blue album.
Is that the new one?
No, that's the old one from '96 or '97.
Okay.
So that was just sitting there listening to all that. I was like, whoa, this is taking you back 15 years?
Yeah, I was like Beverly Hills. That's the one that was my whole. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh snap.
Right. I realized that there were a lot of songs that are played on the radio that came off of that one album. But I think the biggest awesome and fail of Riot Fest is Friday night, where they put Slayer and Primus on at the same time. Same time, Slayer and Primus. Different stages. So if you picture a box, a stage was at each of the four corners. So at diagonal corners was Primus and Slayer at 9:30 to 10:30. Well, Primus went to 10:45, but still. So caught some of Slayer, caught some of Primus. Primus ended with Too Many Puppies, and Slayer opened with God Hates Us All. That was fucking awesome. Except, I don't know, I can't think of his name now, but the lead singer didn't sound normal. Like, he came out, it was like he smoked a bunch of weed, wasn't feeling very good. Something was wrong. You know, not that smoking weed makes it wrong, but he was just real mellow. And if you're the lead singer of Slayer, mellow is not what you're supposed to be. Not at all. So,
well, this is Colorado. He can get weed accessibly here.
So can everybody. That's the joy. And it's kind of nice when you listen to some of the bands get up on stage and talk about that. You know, they get up and say, Colorado, it's great having legal weed, huh? And it's like, well, I don't know. You tell me, man. Did you stop by one of the many, many, many stores on your way in? Talk to us.
Do you think the music culture is going to change in Colorado because of the weed?
Well, that's a good question. So much is changing already with, people coming in. Just winters. You could tell how many tourists are here in Colorado by seeing how fucked everything is in the winter. Because, 10, 20 years ago, and I know there's always growth, it's always changing, whatever. But 10, 20 years ago, way back in the day, you could drive out there and it seemed, but that's just it, perception. It seemed like people had a better control over it, could handle it better. And now that seems like you get a lot of people that don't know, and they see brake lights and you tap on your brakes or you dump on your brakes and you drift across the whole highway, bounce into a few people, whatever. Anyways, not sure how we strayed off on that. God, who else played this weekend?
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang last night. How many of them were original? Do we know? Did we ever find out? The stage was full. I mean, when they came out, it was like, holy shit, man. There's
like 11
Old DB.
of them.
Yeah, because I saw Method Man and Redman and.
Well, Method Man's not part of Wu-Tang.
No?
No.
See, I don't know nothing about any of that, but I know that they were up there, and that was just lovely.
But, if you say Colorado and Method Man, he's showing up. He's got a... I mean, Redman. Method Man's part of Wu-Tang. Redman's
But wasn't Redman up there?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. He may or may not have been. Like I said, I don't know. We were way in the back because, A, it was raining. B, we had Shelby with us, so we had to kind of hang back because she was cold. We brought sweatshirts. That didn't help.
The best place I heard to see Wu-Tang playing was from the vendor parking lot. Just like if you were looking at the stage, it would have been to the left.
Yeah, that was where we exited out from. But, yeah, that would have – because we watched from the fence as we were walking away trying to beat the crowd,
Okay.
And we sat outside for a little bit. I even called my buddy Dredd, and I was like, dude, you got to hear this. And he held up the phone and let him hear the concert since he didn't get to make it out to it. But
saved him $85 or whatever the cost was for the day.
Right? Like, they're not cheap. The tickets aren't cheap but you get so much. So much. I mean, yesterday it was, Jesus. Wish I had the schedule here and make it even cooler, but there was Wu-Tang and Rise Against and 303
Social
and
Distortion.
Social Distortion, Dropkick Murphys. Was Social D yesterday?
Social D was Saturday.
Or were they Saturday?
Saturday.
I feel like they were Saturday.
Yeah,
it's 3 days of all day, like band after band after band.
From 1 to 12 is 11 hours each day. That's 33 hours of music festival.
Yeah, and it's intense.
Yeah, my mother was out there, a donut angel, selling donuts and funnel cakes.
Right. So let me tell you a little story about how we learned about that was your mom. So we were sitting over at the iCannabis radio booth, and we heard Warren talking about it and everything, but we didn't get entire specifics. Like things weren't quite adding up. Whatever. And we're high, we're hungry, and it's like, fuck, dude, we need something sweet now.
This sounds like Riot Fest.
So we go back around to the thing, and it's like, okay, what back here is sweet? And we walk past the funnel cake donut thing, and it's like, that's it. That's what we want. And it's like there's like 4 or 5 people, and we're like, sweet. And then a couple of these people that are walking move, and we see, wait, there's more line. And the line went all the way back into that center fucking tent. So we go back, get in that, and it's like, all right, cool, whatever. 45 minutes later, we get to the front of the line.
Wow.
And I mean, it was the most popular place there easily at this time of day. And we were like, okay, well, Georgia and Warren and Gavin were talking about wanting one, and we should just get them one just in case, because it took us this long. Maybe Warren came back so fast because he saw the line. He said, fuck that. And so we got him one. Mm-hmm. We get back over there, and they're like, oh, hey, how you guys doing? Oh, look, you guys got some. And we look on the table, and there's a half-eaten funnel cake, and everybody's got that smile like everything's all good. And it's like, wait, what? And we're like, we got you one. They're like, oh, no, we got it. They just handed it right over the fence. And we're like, oh, nice, awesome. So, we ended up eating all of ours, whether we wanted it or not at that point, because how long we waited in line for it, you pretty much have to at that point.
You got to double funnel cake it.
You do. So that was pretty much the excitement of that.
Yeah, in order for me to go to Weezer, I had to show up and pretend I was working at my mom's booth to get a vendor's ticket to go to Riot Fest.
Well, if you hung out in that booth at any point in time, you probably didn't pretend, because if you got sucked into there, you had to work. It was fucking crazy back there. Holy crap!
I wore shoes that they knew that I wouldn't work in on purpose. They're like, my mom was like, oh, he's in his Jordans. He's not gonna do shit.
It's like, but hey, come on, we're at a 3-day concert here.
No, it was good fun. My mom, they're actually going out to do the corn maze out at the Chatfield Reservoir.
Nice.
At the Denver Botanic Gardens for the next month. It starts this weekend, and it goes all the way to the 1st of November.
Nice. I love the cornfield mazes around here.
Yeah, so if you like the donuts from Riot Fest, they're out in Chatfield for the next month, every weekend.
Sweet. So there's several cornfield mazes out here, actually.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how many are in Kansas.
Shit. The whole thing's probably a cornfield maze. Like, come on to Kansas. You pay admission at the border, and we just let you wander through for the next 2.5 years.
Period. I wonder what the chainsaw massacre rate in cornfields are in Nebraska this time of year.
Do you think rentals of Children of the Corn are high out there? Probably not. They're like, no, too close to home. Thanks anyway.
Oh, man.
So there's all kinds of crazy things going on in the world. So since George is not here, we'll get to talk about some of them, because I know it's Happy Monday and all, but the world's not exactly the happiest place. But we'll try to keep it as positive as possible.
Let's go positive.
So, but it's all perspective, really, like positive, negative. I mean, I guess if you're getting punched in the face, it's not very positive. But if you're getting $1 million after it's done, it's not so negative either. So it just depends on how you want to look at things. But in local news today, we've got Jeffco students skip classes to protect censorship of history curriculum. I thought that was kind of a nifty thing to kind of catch up on. Out in Golden, dozens of Evergreen High School students walked out of their morning classes on Monday and carpooled to the Jefferson County School Administration Building to protest what they see as the school board's attempt to censor advanced history curriculum.
I like how you said carpool because it's like probably the junior and seniors only have cars. Right. So they're like, if the sophomores and freshmen want to go, they got to have cool friends.
Right. They're like, we'll push the penny. Just let us fucking go with you, please.
We got gas, I swear.
We'll throw in a few bucks. Remember back in the day? Oh, no one in here's. Oh, well, Sarah. Remember back in the day when you're like, somebody's like, hey, I need a ride, I'll give you a couple bucks for gas. And that literally meant they give you $2 or $3, but that was 2 or 3 gallons of gas too. Now I remember thinking, you cheap bastard.
Now it's got to be $10.
Now it has to be 10 minimum. And it's like, dude, I'll take you to the fucking grocery store for $10. If you want to go any further, you better cough up some actual greens.
Period. But like also, what's crazy is like in this city, what they take as payment for gas now?
Oh, yeah.
People will be like, what, I'll smoke a blunt with you. Like, oh, all right, let's go.
Right, like my car doesn't run on blunts, and I've got a bowl loaded, so we got to come up with something a little better.
But say you didn't have a bowl loaded.
Well, that's true.
You'll take somebody to the airport.
Oh, yeah. Smoke that blunt with me the whole way, and we're good. We're good.
The ride back might be a little whack, but hey, it's cool.
So let's see. Shit, I lost my place here. I want honesty in the classroom. The students, oh, look who's here.
Hi.
The student said, oh, well, here, we'll get back to this. Is it raining?
It's kind of raining outside.
Because when we got here, it was absolutely bright and sunburned, and you either look like you ran here or it's raining.
It's raining.
So.
Yeah, I don't usually sweat on my glasses.
Okay. Well, I didn't see that. I just saw your shoulder, and it was like, holy shit.
Hi.
So, hi, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
So now everything's feeling normal again.
All right.
I was talking about the Riot Fest and some of the bands that we saw and how I was a little disappointed with Riot Fest's utter lack of compassion for its fans when they put Slayer and Primus on at the same time.
I'm sure that's what it was. It was lack of compassion.
It was. I mean, if they were thoughtful or anything, they would have split those two up and thought, man, the rest of the lineup is okay, but Slayer and Primus?
It's interesting. I kind of wonder about how they determine who should go where in music festivals in general. I mean, it's a lot of juggling to figure these out. I mean, there are 4 stages, and one stage is sort of the headline stage, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum is a stage that's more set up for kind of local bands and bands that aren't as popular, and they have it sounds like a lot.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, there are 4 stages. The place is sort of set up like a square, and each stage is at one of 4 corners. So, you got to get around to get around. I mean, unless, the band you're watching is on stage A, which is in front of you, and the next band that you want to see is on stage B, which is right behind you. Sometimes it worked out that way. As soon as the other band stopped, the next band started. All you had to do was turn around. That
was one thing that was pretty cool. And good music festivals do this in general. It starts on time and it finishes on time. And that makes it really nice because, I mean, you're coordinating your day based on the schedule that they put on. And as soon as something gets backed up, I mean, that screws up everything. And they did an excellent job of that.
They did very well. That was very well. 3 days of intenseness. Intensity, so.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Hey, we make up all the words we want here. That's the joy of freedom.
I love the non-censorship of the. It's the free speech.
The uncensorship.
Oh wait, now that you're
censorship.
Now that you're here, poop. All right. Well, we got that out.
Cool.
So
we should take a quick break because it looks like you were in the middle of your
just
censorship.
Well, there's different stories there's all kinds of crazy things happening in the world right now. So.
The world is a crazy place.
It is.
You actually caught us in the middle of a bowl.
Yeah, we were having a bowl moment.
That wouldn't have been hard to do.
Yeah.
No.
I pretty much could have come at any time, and that would have been essentially where we were, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right. True.
So we'll get back to that, and then we'll be right back to this.
Yay.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On grass. Runongrass.com.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
And we're back. So
Is that what that little symbol means after all these years?
And going to the bathroom, I see that it looks just like it did when we got here. Like it's sunny out, but it's raining. I love Colorado.
I know, right?
We don't even need clouds for it to rain. We don't need to wait till winter for it to snow.
Do you know that today is yesterday was the last full day, but today summer ends today and fall begins this evening.
Well, thank God that it's catching up to the weather.
Right.
I mean, tomorrow's going to go back to summer. It's going to not quite put its summer clothes away. But
Don't ever put your summer clothes away.
no.
Don't ever do it.
Not in Colorado.
I mean, tomorrow's going to be 80 some odd. 80. I'm going to go out there and just say 88 degrees.
Really, because you're
Yeah.
you're a meteorologist now. That's
Yeah.
awesome because we could use one on the station. That would be amazing.
I mean, it's going to be hot tomorrow. It's been gloomy for 3 days, and that's the rule. After day 3, the sun comes out, all the snow goes away. There's no snow yet, but that's the routine.
Yeah, it says tomorrow's supposed to be upper 70s, 80s.
There you go.
Wednesday, upper 70s. Thursday, everything's looking real nice.
I know my
Real nice here in Colorado.
Uh-huh. So really quick before we get back to the story that you guys were reading there, we had, I'm sure you guys talked about this, the booth that we had, and that we shared it with Sierra Riddle, who is, a girl has 3 boobs.
Hey, focus.
That girl has 3 boobs.
Focus. We'll get to that.
And how do you tell me to focus when you
I
pull up
know.
a picture of a 3-boobed lady?
Because, we're into cool porn.
That's not porn. That was just a 3-boobed lady.
It was.
That doesn't make for
Photoshop.
porn. That makes for a freak show.
For you, maybe. For dudes, that's an extra boobie. We'll get to that later. Come on.
Okay. So it was what was interesting about Riot Fest for me. I mean, this is the second year that the Edson, Maton, and Matz and iCannabis Radio have had a booth, and we've shared it with Team Landon. Landon has, you guys know, Sierra and Landon have been on the show in the past, and he is fighting pediatric cancer, is doing a great job. He's been in remission for almost 24 months now, using cannabis as a treatment. A couple things about that is, one is when we are sitting there, everyone wants to tell you their cancer story, and everyone has one. I mean, it's kind of shocking. There really isn't anyone that it's not even 6 degrees of separation. It is, a half a degree of separation. How many people are affected by cancer? But there was the way that they did the booths this year was all of the merchandise vendors were in one aisle, and then the food vendors were in another aisle. And behind us,
The food aisle was kind of well hidden.
I liked the food aisle a lot.
I did too, but it was hard to find right away. We fell for the same gag that a lot of people fell for. I thought I turned you down.
The gag that was the chicken.
The chicken nuggets booth that's out by the rides, because you don't really see the whole row of food, because it's kind of tucked away, but once you found it, it was hard to miss.
Right.
But we stood in that same line for the fries, nuggets, nacho thing that they had going there, just like everybody else just stood there, and
And there's so much better stuff. Well,
we wanted to go and tell them, hey, do you guys know that there's a whole row of food that has the same shit and no line?
and better. Directly behind us was the best smelling food vendor, maybe in Colorado. And if you happen to know the owner of the funnel cake booth, you can order it over the fence and have it delivered over the fence. If you're 9 years old, and you reach over and you say, "Hi, Ronell's mom," you get stuff with extra whipped cream.
So
That's
for
how
those
that
of you
works.
that have been listening the whole time, that was the punchline. Thank you for playing. Sorry you missed the beginning.
Oh, I did miss the beginning.
I told that story already, but
Oh,
from
I'm
a
so
completely
sorry. Why didn't you stop me?
because your version was totally different than
Oh,
mine.
okay.
Yeah.
So
his was a little more sad in that he had waited in line.
Then we'd already-
when there was a fence that separated the funnel cake and donut passage.
So that was my first funnel cake.
Your first? Whoa.
So
Your first two?
I had never eaten a
You
funnel
know they hand those out in every carnival, every place, every amusement park, on
Here's-
every
For as long as we've
corner
been
of
alive.
Every globe.
Here's the thing.
Mars has funnel cakes.
I thought a funnel cake was essentially a donut. It is not a donut. Donuts are cakey, and I don't care for donuts. And a funnel cake, they should not call it a cake.
So my question.
It's
I'm
cakey.
sorry. Before I get too far, what did you envision a funnel cake when you saw it in your head prior to having your first funnel
I
cake?
had seen them before, so I knew what it physically
Oh,
looked
okay.
like. But I thought it was going to be an enormous donut. I thought it was going to be heavy and doughy, and it is crispy and amazing.
It's like a bunch of French fries that are stuck together.
It is and sweet.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Or it's like a fried cake with all the cake
A
removed
bunch
from the
of
middle.
donuts.
Right.
French fries.
Right. Oh, so fluffy. It was so good. It was so good.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Didn't even tell that story. You know, like
I got kissed by a unicorn.
A who?
by a very specific unicorn.
Nice.
The It's So Fluffy unicorn.
It's so fluffy.
So the carnival games now have nifty toys where if you go up with the right amount of money, you can assuredly win that particular toy. You just say, how much does it take? What do I got to do to win that toy? And they say, you got to win 3 times. You give them a 20, they give you back $2, they give you the prize, and then you get to play for fun.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. I like the way carnivals go now. Because sometimes, stop.
I know.
Because sometimes, yeah, that shit will just go and go and go and go.
Another thing that I thought was interesting about this was not, at least I didn't see. This was, you go to a concert at Red Rocks and the whole place smells like weed. The entire place, especially.
Well, Red Rocks, because it kind of funnels it up. If somebody smokes a joint in the front row, everyone in the back row smelling it.
Right.
I mean, if somebody smokes a joint in the front row, before it's gone, it has made it to the back.
This was not that event. This was not that event. I have a list of things I learned at Riot Fest, but this was not that event. It did not smell like weed. And do you want to know what my theory is?
I want to know what was wrong with your nose, because I smelled weed
You smelled you.
4 out of every 5 seconds.
You smelled you.
I was
No.
there for 3 hours. I smoked like 4 joints.
Okay, so maybe I wasn't hanging out with you guys.
Like, it smelled like weed at every stage I
didn't-
went
I
to.
did
It's
not
like, it
smell
smells
it.
fine, it smells fine. Oh, shit.
I did
Damn,
not
that one
smell
smells
it.
good.
Nope,
Really?
I didn't smell it, and I have a theory about that. Well, clearly you guys smelled it, and I missed it. But I was thinking kind of about how interesting it was that while I saw plumes of smoke during shows, I didn't smell it. I learned a bunch of things about Coloradans and people who attend. Things I learned at Riot Fest. I have a list of things I learned at Riot Fest. Things I learned at Riot Fest. Number 1. Jorts or jean shorts are wildly popular, especially the ones that are mom shorts that are like at your waist.
The belly ones? The belly shorts? The ones that go over your belly button?
Yeah.
Like, those things are hideous.
Wildly, yeah,
Are they
wildly
called the
popular.
navel high Levi's?
Yes.
Yeah, like-
yes.
Those are hideous.
I thought they were mom jorts.
Jorts.
Jorts, jean shorts or jorts. So those are wildly popular. Yeah, jorts.
Oh, but if they start out as shorts, they're
they're
actual
still
just
jorts.
shorts?
They're
Really?
still jorts, as far as I'm concerned, because they're made out of jean
How
material.
many
That's it.
shirts did you see with a band on the front?
All of them.
I saw
I saw all
a
of
lot
them.
of Slayer t-shirts.
I
A
saw
lot. All 3 days, even. So
was-
either people didn't change their clothes or they were really dedicated.
right. So I learned that jorts are very, very popular. I learned that virtually everyone has some sort of vape pen, e-cig, something. You can be white, black, purple, old, young, male, female. You are walking around with a vape pen. Warren was like, look at those ladies who were older than me puffing on their vape pens. I don't know what was in it, but it could have been tobacco. It could, or
It's disguise.
Well, most
It could've
people,
been
a lot
weed.
of people were smoking it cigarette style. I mean, I could tell because I was always looking at their containers to see, because
The fluid is.
right. Usually it's the skinny ones that are brown. That's weed. But if they got all these crazy big old tanks with really viscous fluid, it's usually nicotine. And then you could usually tell by how often they're puffing.
Yeah.
And-
Well, it was shocking to me how many.
There was a ton.
Here's the other thing I learned. Oh, well, finish. You go ahead and say what you were going to say.
No,
and then
I'll say
go to
because
mine.
it's discreet. Like, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, I'm smoking a joint because I like smoking joints. Where some people are like, I don't want to smoke a joint in public.
Right.
And so they pull out their pens and, keep it on the low, as they like to say.
Well, and I also think that you could probably get through security pretty easily if you say this is a nicotine pen.
Well, are we talking about security at the concert or security anywhere else?
Well, I was specifically talking to Riot Fest. This is my list of things I learned at Riot Fest.
Okay. Because security at Riot Fest, I mean, you could have had anything aside from a knife, a gun, or a bomb.
Yeah.
They were awesome. Like, they just looked through your shit. Okay, whatever, go on.
There was
You're
a guy
good.
that walked in front of me who had 2 things of Gatorade, and she's like, I've got to take that. You can't bring in outside. He's like, oh, I can't bring in my Gatorade. It's, 90 degrees and hot. And she's like, okay, just put it in your bag real quick. I mean, she let him bring in his Gatorade.
One scene I argued yesterday because we knew, like, Sarah told me that you're not allowed to bring in umbrellas, so we didn't bring our umbrellas in.
What? Did they sell you umbrellas?
Nope. They said, well, so there was a girl in one of the lines to the left of us who had umbrellas, and she was like, so I have to take this all the way back to my car or you're going to throw it away? I can't take in my umbrella. And I was like, that it's supposed to rain for the rest of the afternoon, right, people? And they're like, well, we don't care. It's against the policy. And, like, whose policy says that we can't protect ourselves from inclement weather? I mean, are you providing shelter? They said, it's not up to us.
It's
man.
not up to
It's the promoters. And I said, okay, so the promoters, and they said the same thing still applies. And they said it's insurance reasons. Sorry.
I don't know if it's insurance reasons, but I certainly know that you get pretty pissed off when somebody in front of you pops open an umbrella.
Right. But to say that you can't have them,
No, true. That makes sense.
well, both sides. I mean, I get it because when we were watching Rise Against, there were 3 umbrellas right in front of us, and it's like, sweet, can't see shit.
Right, exactly.
But on the other hand, it was fucking raining.
Right,
But we should also have ponchos.
right. I had
You know?
ponchos.
Right.
I should
Well,
have
I had sweet raincoats. I've got tons of ponchos. Don't know where any of it is. But whatever.
Okay, so my list of things I learned at Riot Fest. Jorts, especially mom, waisted, whatever, over the belly button, wildly popular. Wildly popular.
I'm sad that trend is coming back.
I'm amazed. But that's okay, whatever. I mean, just because I don't get it doesn't mean that's good or bad.
Just looks
Everyone has a
silly.
vape pen. Everybody has a vape pen. Like, everybody is vaping on something. And then the other thing that I learned at Riot Fest is that lots and lots of people still smoke cigarettes.
What I was going to say, it seems like a lot less cigarette smokers this time. Like,
I-
I wasn't as bothered as normal.
Oh my gosh,
that's 'cause I
was
think a lot of this.
I was so surprised. How many people still smoke cigarette. I mean, it was enough to me, and maybe it's because I don't really hang out with anybody that smokes cigarettes that's why it was so shocking to me, and maybe because so many people have e-cigarettes now that I don't get bothered by that nasty, disgusting, awful, horrible, very bad, vile, cancer-causing smell.
You know what really sucks? Speaking of
Cigarettes.
that booth
Oh.
at the very end of the aisle that we were in that was
Yeah.
giving out the cigarillos.
Yeah.
So it's like I smelled cigars a lot during some of the shows, and
Yeah.
some of it,
But
you're
they
standing like this, and you're like, "All right, good job, go team, go!" And then you got to put your arm back down, and you know how it is when you're like that. You already can't breathe, and
Right.
even if we're outside.
Yeah, but they don't give cigarillos away to smoke. Like that's
Yes, they do.
No, I mean people were smoking
Right.
them, but that's not their purpose.
Oh, that's what these
Right,
ones
that's
were.
right. That's right.
That's what they say they were for because there's legal legalities that go with saying.
There's
what
legal
you're saying.
legalities.
Legal legalities for sure.
See,
But
For sure.
we're making
They were-
shit up in here
they
left
were
and right.
handing out. Those are two actually words they just weren't used properly. Anyway,
Exactly.
Those are
were
real
giving
words.
them- they were giving them. They're giving them away. So yes, you can roll up your good old marijuana tobacco or your Colorado tobacco, as we like.
Yeah,
to
but
call
who
it.
rolls a blunt with a cigarillo? Like, what do you roll, pinners?
Never. I roll baseball bats and
With a cigarillo.
with a cigarilla.
I'd like to smoke one of those.
Oh man, like these. That's what I smoke regularly.
That is not a cigarillo. That
What
is
is
a
it?
fucking cigar.
It says
A
a
c-
cigarillo, right?
yeah, I
on the
get
thing.
that. But the cigarillos that they given away look like cigarettes
Oh,
that
the
are
little tiny
cigars.
thin
Yes.
things. Oh.
I did see a lot of people with those too.
And they had to have been smoking them because there was
Yeah, I
a
saw
lot
that.
like of cigar smoke. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
bad.
that was
It's-
hefty.
I saw a
and
lot of
But
those.
not
healthy
everybody
and-
can get high neither. Some people are like, man, I can't go to work like this. So
Yeah,
they
I can't
smoke.
function.
Well, and it's totally understandable. I mean, cigars were fun to smoke when I smoked tobacco. It's just, but I didn't complain about it. People got the right. We were outside, shit, whatever.
Well, before we go on our next break, we can wrap up the Riot Fest talk. The other thing that never got old for me was virtually every band, that was cute, by the way, virtually every band had to talk about legal weed. At some point during their show, they had to say something about
great it was.
It's a monument. When these bands come here, it's like they can say, "Hey, Tim, driver, swing by one of their stores that we keep hearing about," and then they could just get out and go right in, come right back out, and be like, "Fuck, dude, we just got weed."
So the interesting thing, having said that, though, was that we had people come up to our booth, and I want to say that there was at least a dozen people who were like, "What? Weed's legal?"
Really?
Bands are probably sick
Where
of
the
being
fuck
on the
were
road.
they been?
Not in Colorado. Not.
You don't have
listening
to be
the
in
news,
you
maybe
have to
under
be-
a rock in.
And where?
Can-
Outside of the United States? Because everywhere in the
kid
United
you.
States is
If you're
talking
a band
about
from
this.
Oklahoma City and you've been traveling all over the country, you might not get the newspaper. And they're probably sick and tired of doing acid, cocaine, and Molly and stuff. And they get here, they're like, "Whoa, and it's good? Oh, yeah, give me two of those.
I don't know, but every band, every show that I've been to this year, I've seen Slayer, I've seen Motley Crue, Aerosmith, we saw the Riot Fest. I've been to a few different shows this year, and every single one.
Everybody
since-
talks about it,
it's
or
like-
references.
Yeah.
Talking about
For the last
weed.
2 years since we outright, quote unquote, legalized it. Last
Willie
year.
Nelson threw a party in Denver. Willie Nelson, he's like, I'm walking up there to go smoke with my dog Snoop.
So we'll be right back. I'm gonna scratch my legs off during our break.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On grass. Runongrass.com.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Green Faith Ministry is for spiritual guidance, MMJ information, and networking combined with compassionate care on the way to enlightenment with all Green Faith sacraments. Green Faith provides charity assistance, including medical and food throughout the year. Contact them at greenfaithministry.com.
And we're back.
And the rest of the show is going to be about three boobs. Really?
I hope not.
I hope not.
But now that we're talking about it. So for those of you that have
Of course, she's from Florida. Everything effed up.
comes out of Florida, right? So
I mean, the best plastic surgeons are in Florida.
there's all kinds of nifty articles around. It might be real, it might not. It's hard to tell anymore on the internet. That's the joy of everything. But 3 boobs. Yes, you heard me right. This Florida woman spent $20,000 on surgery to add a 3rd boob to her chest portfolio. She's like, I got 1. I got 2.
But that's not enough for me.
But that's not enough because
No.
every other successful woman has 2 boobs, and I can't outdo that. Wait a minute.
If I want to be special, what do I do? What do I do?
I remember this
could go
movie
get
from
a
way back
PhD.
when.
I could train my dog how to play the piano. No.
Fuck that. I can get
20
a
G's to
third
get you a
boob.
PhD
Yeah, because she would have to be a
from
teaching
the
assistant.
University of Phoenix or what?
She'd have to be a teaching assistant also. She'd only pay the 20G, you know. Oh. Yeah. But yeah, no. I've got it. The way that I am going to feed my family is by giving myself a third titty.
I mean,
So if it
no
says,
pun intended.
Oh, let me hear the pun. Come on.
yeah.
No, you just said it. You're gonna feed your family with a third titty.
Right. You got one for both the
right?
kids and for hubby. Get everybody
Right?
on in there. Come
No,
on.
no. There's one for you and one for you. And
there's a
internet, there's
dog.
one for you.
So this little quote here, it says, of the controversial surgery, she told Real Radio 104.1 she had to contact more than 50 doctors before she found a surgeon who agreed to carry out the procedure. Of the one who agreed to carry out the operation, she claimed, he made me sign a non-disclosure agreement as he was scared he'd get in trouble. And it's like, but scared to get in trouble of what? Like, you can go in for plastic surgery, so it's okay if you take fat from your ass and put it here, or you move this and you put it there, or you do this and you do that and whatever. But if you want to, at what? Isn't it our own personal body? I mean, if you want to do all these freaky, stupid things, you want to get those weird piercings through your dick and, and all these crazy ass
have
things.
your teeth like fangs. That's a
Fangs,
cool one.
or
That's
like some of the people that like the really long fingernails, or I mean, it's like
Here's the thing, Jer. Here's the thing, though. If you want a third boob, okay, how many women have 3 boobs?
One.
one apparently.
Right. So guess what I am thinking?
Well, if they
I'm
can make a
thinking-
man a woman and give not fully functional parts.
But hold on.
They've done
So here's the thing, and I like where you're going. So that's a pretty out of the box request for a plastic surgeon.
Unless they've seen Total Recall. And I don't want to, try to use, but that has kind of been the staple of that time is
boobdom.
of people look it up. Look up references to the third boob. Comedians have been doing it. It's in movies.
But to go through, spend $20,000 to have your body altered essentially forever, unless she has $20,000 to have it undone.
Well, but that's a good question. How much would it cost to get it undone?
You've got to think that maybe there's a little something going on psychologically with her, and so lots and lots of doctors would say, you know what, I'm just not going to risk this because I feel like you're going to come back in a little while and regret this decision of this extra titty that you have hanging out in the middle that I went ahead and did for you. I mean, it's a weird request.
You're
It's a
implying
weird
that doctors care.
Well, with reality TV going on today, I think personally at $20,000, she can take that boob to a pawn show and pawn it for at least like 7 or 8. You know what I'm saying? It's not a come up, but it's part of your money back.
I guess I just it's a moment in time, a snapshot in time that she's going to have some sort of notoriety, and it's not because people are like, wow, this is a brilliant thing to do. It's because, wow, that's pretty freak show.
She probably wants people to look at her smile.
Okay, so for both of you two, now here, this holy fuck. I just should have kept reading because we got so much more ammunition. Plus, you brought up reality. Later in that same interview, Tri-Devil said she put a breast. Yeah, right. Said she put a breast where no breasts should be because she, quote, wanted to make herself unattractive to men because I don't want to date anymore, end quote.
She probably turned on more geeks than she turned off regular people.
Right? There are much easier, less expensive ways not to date anyone, like don't go
date.
on any more dates. That fucking simple. Anyways, be sure to keep up with Jasmine on her reality show,
No.
Jasmine's Jugs. I'm just reading this. Please don't. Or do whatever you want.
I liked Tri-Devil a lot better than.
Well, her name's Jasmine Tri-Devil.
She's changing
But that's not her
the
real
bra
name.
game forever.
Oh yeah, I hope she's a seamstress.
Which is a real thing, the show. And it says, why does every story from Florida always end with, which is a real thing? Because everything that comes out of Florida is so fucking twecko.
It can be. It's really.
But look, see, they got the tri-boob bra here. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Like, that she is totally changing the bra game. Like, I can imagine Haynes going like, I can't help you.
So,
and I don't want to help you because there's really not a huge 3-cup market.
But instantaneously, she became famous because she's the only woman in the world with 3 boobies.
There's got to be a big girl company like what's the Lane Bryant. Lane Bryant be like, all right, we'll make her one.
I don't know. I think they're busy.
It's Victoria's real secret, right?
Bless this girl's heart. Like I'm saddened for her.
If you want to see a picture of it, just Google 3-breasted.
If you want to see a picture of it, you should get yourself a hobby because there are more interesting things
come
to do.
on, dude!
No.
If somebody just came
First
up and
of all,
said,
I'm not a
"Hey,
dude.
there's a 3-breasted woman out there now. Go look it up." Every guy is going to want to go check that shit out.
I mean,
women, it's totally understandable.
It's that curiosity killed the cat.
Curiosity.
It's like you go like
because we keep talking about it.
You'll be like, for real, 3, and then you have you'll have like that stupid cloud where it has like the image of what you really think in your head.
Right, but it's nothing
dumb.
bad. It's
And
not
then
like
you
we're
see it
talking
and you
about
go
blue
like,
waffles or
oh,
anything.
That's not what I thought. Like I was really thinking of something.
Blue waffles, red pancakes. I mean, we could
Easy.
play this game. It gets gross.
So I have a Florida story.
Another Florida story.
You know, it's kind of a sad story. Remember how I was saying at Riot Fest, there were people that didn't really understand this whole, like, you guys legalized weed. And so we had this couple from Florida that said, that knew that we had legalized weed, but thought that, you know, he's like, is anyone selling weed here? We're like, no, you know,
that's not how this works.
Yeah. And I said essentially that. I'm like, no, that's illegal. And he's like, wait a second. So I'm like, no, you can give it away or you can get it from a store, but you can't just,
Did he
set
just
up a
think
booth.
this is like one big college town and
Well, a lot
like
of
every
people-
third dude's a dealer?
A lot of
Right.
people think that it's just
It's
going to pop
legal.
up in 7-Elevens and grocery stores.
One day, I hope.
It will
That'd be
eventually.
awesome.
You
Like
know,
at the Cigarello. But
alcohol started out probably pretty regulated too.
these folks said that they're like all excited. You know, it's on the ballot for us here in Florida in November, and we're really excited, and it's going to pass for sure. And so I said, oh, I hope so much. You know, I'm from Florida, and I really want this to happen. But I hope that all your friends go out and vote because you made it a constitutional amendment. The way that your laws work is you have to get 60%, not just the majority, but you have to get 60% in order to change your constitution. And I was really bummed out because she's like, "Oh, it'll pass. There's no doubt in my mind that it will pass." And I said, "So all of your friends are going to vote?" And she's like, "Well, it kind of doesn't even matter because it's going to pass." And I was like, "Oh, I hope that this couple is alone in that thought process because." People aren't going to vote and they're not going to do what they need to do.
The people that are going to vote no. Like the people that think it's going to pass need to make that shit happen. That's how it's going to pass.
Well, and 60%, I mean, that's a pretty significant
but it's hard
margin required.
It is. It's hard to get. I mean, 60% seems small, especially because that's a failing grade in school. But
right.
60% takes a lot to achieve.
That's right.
In an equally divided country.
Very good, Ronell. Very good. Well, in a pretty conservative state where, the people that don't know any better think, oh, there's CBD legislation that's going to cover, all the need for medical. And, so anyway, it was a little bit disheartening. And I didn't want to be overbearing with these folks, but, I did kind of say, wow, hope you guys have, get out the vote parties and all these kinds of things so that it works for you. And I don't think it went anywhere.
We need to gather some different kind of empowerment pamphlets and things that people can. So, why do you have hives?
We'll talk about that off the air.
Okay. Well, that just made it sound like it's.
It's not gross or anything. It's just weather related.
Oh. Ugh.
We're gonna take a quick break, right, Chris? one of the cool things about being at Riot Fest this weekend was that we got to hand out a bunch of Cuffle Collimore and Company pamphlets to people, and as they're reading about or seeing iCannabis Radio and Edson Maton and Mats and learning about Landon, we had the THC magazines there as well. We were able to walk them through, part of starting these businesses include things like every other business, like having insurance and what that means. And people kind of hadn't thought through that, businesses need all kinds of insurance.
Well, especially with weed, because we think like, shit. It's like when you first turn 21 and you go to the bar and you're like, I'll take a drink.
Right.
And you hand them your ID and you're like, I know I'm legal. This is scary. But it's the same thing. You start a business, you're like, fuck, okay, I got a business. I'm going to grow weed. I'm going to stay as much out of the limelight as possible. I can't believe this is happening. But, like, that time has come and gone.
Right. That's right.
Like, you have to treat it like a regular business now.
Because it is. And so definitely give Bob Collimore a ringy-dingy. Visit him on his website, cufflecollimore.com. He'll be happy to give you a quote and give you all the information that you need, not just about your weed business, but any kind of insurance. But certainly if you're in this business, make sure that you are properly covered. That's cufflecollimore.com. And we'll be right back.
The law offices of Edson Maton and Mats provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
And we're back.
Talk it up, Colorado. Talk it up, Colorado. Talk it up, Colorado. Talk it up, Colorado. Talk it up, Colorado.
Well, at least it's still in America. Unlike Pabst Blue Ribbon. So for all you beer drinkers, like it was Budweiser. Bud Light was the thing. Bud and Bud Light was what everybody had. And then it sold.
American. So all-American.
It was the all-American beer. And then an overseas company, in Europe, bought it a while back. So it's like, and then one morning, Pabst Blue Ribbon was just like America's go-to beer. And it's just funny.
And that's going to happen. I mean, that's going to happen in marijuana one day. I mean, I don't know if it'll be in our lifetime but these big companies.
And there'll be big companies soon too of marijuana. So you'll be buying, like.
Here I have it actually. Pabst Blue Ribbon, the hipster beer. A reputation for being a hipster beer. 170-year-old Pabst Blue Ribbon Thursday night was bought by Oasis Beverage, a 6-year-old beverage and soft drink company based out of Moscow, operating out of Kyrgyzstan, Belarus, and the Ukraine. Yeah.
A 6-year-old company that can afford to buy PBR.
Oh, snap. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Along with Pabst Blue Ribbon, its fellow Pabst Blue and Company comrades, Lone Star, Schlitz, Old Style, Colt 45, National Birmingham, and Reiner. Oh, bye, Colt 45. Oh, I used to like you. Are all under Russian control.
Wait, did you get Old Milwaukee in that list?
Yeah, he said that.
Nice.
Did I say Old Milwaukee?
I think you did.
No.
No?
I mean, this is the list. This is what's under the Pabst Brewing Company.
Right, they also got Old Milwaukee in there, too.
Old Milwaukee.
So those are things that you drink out of the 45s, typically with the brown
45s?
paper.
The 45s.
No, I mean what do you call them?
40s.
40s, whatever.
45's probably your gun. The 40s are your probably.
Don't drink out of a gun.
You use the 45
40.
to get the 40.
Right?
To get the $2 for the 40.
Right? I mean, that's like hitting home.
Right, don't rob your liquor store. Rob the store to go to the liquor store.
That is hitting. Wow.
I mean, my uncles used to drink Slits like, oh my God, like it was the Blue Bull. Like they used to kill it. I used to sit there and look at it and be like, Mom, what's this? She'd be like, don't even ask. And then
don't even ask.
Then I drank one and I was like, oh my God.
Got
so all these companies are selling to overseas.
I mean, overseas they got that money, man.
Well, is it that, or is it that they don't have to pay the same taxes?
I mean,
there's a lot of articles now saying that these companies doing this is doing it so they don't have to pay the taxes.
I mean, it makes sense.
The large corporational placing.
Well,
when you own the whole stage, you can pull from wherever you want and put it wherever you want because you're still profiting the same, if not more, because you've moved it to a better, more strategic location. Where we're here screaming, "Buy America," waving our Chinese-made American flags and screaming "Buy America" when we don't realize that it's all going away and we're just letting it happen.
Well, there's buyers out there and there's people that want money, and I mean it's kind of the American way, like it or not. That is. Everyone. I remember the owner of Dixie Elixirs a couple of years ago said on 60 Minutes or something that ultimately his goal is to sell Dixie for $1 million, or whatever. And I mean, sort of every business owner thinks, it would be great if some big company came in, gobbled me up, and set me for life.
Yep.
I mean, not working is way more fun than working.
See,
when you can afford it for sure.
And so while it feels weird to have something like PBR that is so all-American be owned by a Russian company, I mean, that's what people hope for, right?
It is.
And again, it'll be
in
interesting.
Colorado, it's happening.
Right.
You watch, some of these bigger companies will probably come in, get bought up, and they'll get even bigger because the company that bought them up, that was pennies to them. Huge amounts for the receiver.
It'll be interesting to watch as the cannabis industry spreads out from Colorado and Washington State and the medical states. It'll be interesting to see what happens federally that will allow somebody to own big umbrella companies and make huge profits. And oh my gosh, one day they could sell to Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan got that paper, yo.
See? I mean,
I don't quite know the currency. I'm gonna have to go do my research. But if it translates and I can go buy my pasta with it, I'll take Kazakhstan crowns.
That's right.
Or whatever rubles. I'll
I'll
cash
take
me
some
out.
rubles.
Cash me out.
I think it's fascinating. It's fascinating, and it seems like the cannabis industry has moved so quickly. I mean, obviously, we've been drinking booze legally for a gajillion years, and all over the world they drink a ton of booze, and so that's not surprising. But I just wonder, is it going to be 5 years before this happens? Is it going to be 20 years before this happens? Like, when's this going to happen? I'm curious.
I as well.
I feel like it's been all going very, very quickly. Very quickly.
I mean, there's a corporation aspect probably to the weed game already. It's, even like where if you look at 3 or 4 companies owning 5 or 6 stores or something, it's franchising. It has like a corporate aspect to it.
Sure,
and,
absolutely.
It's it's not necessarily in the sense of where Pepsi's coming in here cashing out on us, but
people are thinking about branding, and I don't want to brand just to Colorado. I want a brand that will translate well to other states and across the nation. I mean, I think absolutely, and that's a very corporate idea. The
roll blunts like burritos, Chipotle style.
Right?
Keep them going.
Now that would be the shit.
I mean,
1 scoop or 2. Let's make it 2. I'm gonna have some friends over.
I mean, it's like it went from chicken and steak to do you want blueberry kush? You want
right.
diesel? You want now?
Well, it's evolving fast. And how many medical? What are we up to number wise for medical? 24.
Something like
Something
that.
like that. I mean, we're almost to the tipping point where we've got the majority of states.
Well, we already have the majority of population, so that more than 50% of the population in the United States live in a medical state.
Nice. See, and once we can get Texas to convert,
they're not high on my list of ones to.
No, they
come
just have a
quickly.
giant. No, they're going to be
early. They're not high.
They're going to
Let
be
them smoke a little bit. Let them get some of that fire from out the basement.
They're a slower one, but they got such a chunk of the population. I mean, I know Alaska's pushing for full legalization now, so that'll be interesting.
Speaking of,
so
yeah, we almost forgot. We almost ended without bringing it up. So
bring it up.
If you haven't been paying attention at all to the interwebs today, Shit, I need to pull up what her
A
name
news
is.
reporter
right quick.
in Alaska, on
Quit,
air,
on air.
decided to
Came
quit her
out
job.
and said, and she had some great videos. There was a good follow-up video about her talking about it. We'd like to play these clips for you, but every time we do, our videos get pulled from YouTube, so we're not going to. But we encourage you to do a little research. See what her name was, because I like to. Is that Charlo Green?
Charlo, yeah.
But what's funny is that a lot of people are bitching about her lack of tact and her just saying fuck it and walking off the air, and they say, well, her language was inappropriate. It's the first fucking amendment allows us protection of the things that we want to say, and we allow ourselves to say, well, nope, not here. Well, yes, here. Like, yes, anywhere. Like, what? I can't be an American here.
But that's not the point. I mean, the point. I mean.
Well, but it's shocking to me how many like different
People are
articles
upset
are coming up with that, and that's where their focus is.
Right. I mean, I think therein lies the interesting fact is that rather than saying the salient points in this story is that this woman decided that she was going to quit her news anchor job because she was the owner of a dispensary in Alaska and was like, forget it. This job isn't worth it to me. So I'm going to quit on the air and period.
She like converted to a drug dealer just like that. She was like, "What? I'm about to sell weed to everybody."
I mean, it was
Peace out.
fantastic.
Yeah, have
I
a
mean,
good weekend.
Yeah.
It's a giant change, and it's the change. And that kind of, if there's gonna be that profanity, like, don't get me wrong, I really like the fucker and the pussy guy, because that is just won't get old for a while, and I'm glad that other people are doing that. But it's kind of dumb now. But this was very beautiful the way that she did it. So like I get a little sentimental when people use profanity in places they're not supposed to. When it sneaks onto TV, like the football game the other day, you heard "oh shit" in the background, plain as day, and it's like, oh, it's so beautiful.
See, and I guess
small moments.
I'm not offended by language at all. I just don't know where we turned the corner that all of a sudden. What's considered vulgar language has become super commonplace. Like that's part of our vernacular. And I remember my friend Amy told me a long time ago that, you don't sound super intelligent if you can't come up with a better word that you can use in every setting. And I was always like, oh, okay, well, fuck.
Everybody understands fuck, though.
Right. Everyone gets that. And the 13 uses of that word.
13.
Just immediate usage. Oh. It's infinite. We know that. It's every word of the sentence.
But that's one of the reasons why we are really happy to be in the setting that we're in on iCannabis Radio, because we can say, do, think a whole 1,000 bunches of things because no one's regulating our language. So kids, don't watch our show. Don't do it. Go get your mom and dad. Let them watch our show.
Correct.
Speaking of our show.
That was our show this evening.
Oh my gosh.
It went super fast.
Yeah.
It did.
It was so fast. We got a whole bunch of things to talk about. We'll definitely talk about.
I figured I'd throw that out when real quick, just to give it a little teaser.
Please.
When we mentioned what shows are coming up.
Yeah. So this week, don't forget on Wednesday morning Mountain Time, 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. is the Adam Dunn Show, and of course on Thursday afternoon from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Time is the Hemp Connoisseur Show. Which
they, if you've been in Colorado the last couple of years, you're familiar with the Hemp Connoisseur Championship, which is coming up on Saturday, October 25th. So tickets are now available. You can judge, you can participate, you can spectate. You can skip it. That's what's neat here is that we have these events, and, some of them have been going on for a while. This one's a really fun one. We won a few different things the first year that they did it, like third place for Sour Diesel and first place for something else. Can't remember, but I remember the third place one.
Top Shelf
I got
one. Yeah,
Top Shelf,
yeah.
right? So...
definitely something fun. We'll have them in and to talk about the event. I'm sure they'll be talking about it on their show as well.
Correct.
Really want to thank our sponsors tonight too. We want to thank Edson Maton and Mats and Mile High Wellness and Run on Grass, and want to thank a couple Collimore and Company, and definitely Rocky Mountain. I'm sorry, I'm so itchy.
Stop.
I can't help it.
Don't itch. Rub.
Rub.
Just gently rub.
Rubbing. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, thank you so much. And we'll be back with another Happy Monday.
It's going to be... Nope, it's still going to be September next week. So we got 2 Mondays from now. It'll be October, whatever we came up with for October.
I want to say happy birthday to my mom tomorrow. She turns 81 tomorrow.
Nice.
So happy birthday, my mom.
Happy birthday, her mom.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good night.